Welcome to today's video on ECG electrocardiography, a must-know topic for anyone in healthcare. A small disclaimer, I am not an SME, just a junior doctor who likes teaching. I'll discuss the absolute basics in full speed because you probably already know this. So this is the diagrammatic representation of Beethoven's triangle where the lead 1 is from right arm to left arm, lead 2 is from right arm to left leg, and we always say it from negative to positive charge. And lead 3 is left arm to left leg, except that we have the chest leads V1 to V6. I hope you know the positions of the leads. I won't go into detail, and except that there are the augmented leads, which is AVR, AVL, and AVF. So there are a total of 12 chest leads, and each lead gives us a different perspective of the heart. It shows us the heart in different directions. So we'll go into what are the different directions. But before that, let's understand the concept behind how an electrical wave is formed and what is its correlation with the mechanical movement of the heart. So we are going to understand this concept by taking an example of lead 2, because lead 2, as you can see, is most in line with the axis of the heart. Other leads will show different findings, but we take lead 2 as the most easily understandable lead. So this is the axis of the heart. This is the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle, and as you know, the SA node, the pacemaker, is present here. AV node is present here, and in between there are the internodal fibers. Do you know the names of the internodal fibers? Bachmann, Wenckebach, Thorel, stuff from first year. Anyway, then AV node gives rise to bundle of His, which further gives rise to right bundle branch, left bundle branch, and then these give rise to the Purkinje fibers. Okay, so in this diagram I'll show you what happens mechanically, and in this side I'll show you what happens in the ECG. You must remember, whenever the vector, the electrical current, is in line with the vector, the lead, as you know, this is lead 1, negative, lead 2, lead 2 is in this direction. So whenever the activity, mechanical activity, is along this direction, there will be a positive deflection in the ECG. If this is the baseline, there will be a positive deflection, and if it's against this direction, if it's from this side to this side, then there will be a negative deflection in the ECG. So what actually happens? The first, the SA node will send out a signal causing the atria to contract, right atrium. The atrial contraction is along the lead 2 vector, so there is a positive deflection, and this is known as P wave. The P wave depicts atrial contraction. So once the signal comes from the atria, it comes to the AV node. AV node causes slowing down of the signal. It's kind of a pause button. So this gap in between where the ECG is baseline is called PR interval. There is no conduction of there's no activity. That's why it's baseline, and this is very much needed. This is a pause button which is very much needed for rhythmic contraction of the heart. So once the AV node is bypassed, first electrical current goes towards the right, and then the electrical current goes towards the left. So there's a net electricity this side, perpendicular to the direction of the vector. That's why there's a slight negative, which is Q, slight negative. So once both right and left start contracting together, the net vector, very positive, very strong vector, is in the direction of lead 2. So that's why there's a very strong positive R wave, right? And then the electricity comes to the tip of the heart, apex of the heart, and then goes back like this. So this is a totally opposite direction. That's why the vector becomes negative and it is S wave. So the whole QRS depicts ventricular contraction. So first was atrial contraction, then there was AV node pause, which is PR, this is P. Then we have ventricular contraction, which is QRS. And now there is repolarization or relaxation or diastole. So after this there is diastole of the entire heart. The relaxation occurs from the apex to the base, but since relaxation is basically opposite of excitation, that's why the opposite thing happens. So even though the relaxation is in the opposite direction, the electrical current will be a positive deflection, which is T wave, right? So what does that mean? Diastole indicates T wave. So let's go through this again. First the atria contracts, which is P wave. Then there is a AV nodal delay, which is PR interval. Then all the ventricles contract, which is QRS complex. And then there is relaxation in this direction, but since relaxation is an opposite activity, it is a positive wave, right? Before we go into detailed disease diagnosis and all, let's do the simple things first. Rate calculation. So how do you calculate the rate or the heart rate? By first you identify a R complex. The distance between the two R's is how many large boxes. So over here we can see it's 1, 2, 3 and a half. Okay, let's just consider it's 3. So the formula is 300 by number of large boxes or 1500 by number of small boxes. I prefer this formula, it's easier. So if there were 3 large boxes in between, that means the rate is 100 beats per minute, right? Let's take another example. Over here it's only 1 and 2 boxes, 1, 2. So it is 300 by 2, which is 150 beats per minute, tachycardia. This brings us to rate defects. So the normal rate is what? 60 to 100 beats per minute. So more than